are the world champions, and they are the team that everyone in baseball is looking up to. No longer are they the other team from the state of Missouri. Now, they are the team. Tonight, these rivals meet for bragging rights, and for Kansas City, a chance to celebrate, defend, and show off their World Series title. The champs face off against the Cardinals next.
It's a beautiful Monday night in Kansas City, where we come to you from Kauffman Stadium for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is Rex Hudler, and we begin the first of 4 games between St. Louis and Kansas City. 2 in KC, 2 in St. Louis. 2 great organizations, and Rex, the Heartland, really loves baseball.
Oh, are you kidding? The best baseball in the world is played right here in this state, Fizz. 4 out of the last 5 World Series have been attended by both of these teams, by the way. Of course, the most recent, we all know where that came from. It's a beautiful thing. The passion over there across the state in St. Louis, it's good. The fans love it. Here, a whole new generation has been born into the beautiful Royal Kingdom. It's been fun. Can't wait for the next 4 days. It's going to be a lot of fun baseball.
And when we come back, we'll talk with a guy who pitched for both the Royals and the Cardinals. The mad Hungarian, Al Raboski, talks St. Louis baseball. That's next. Hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. We're now joined by a pitcher who threw for both the Cardinals and the Royals, and Cardinals broadcaster Al Raboski. Could you give us a state of the Cardinal address of 2016?
Well, it'd be very interesting, very similar a little bit to your ball club. I think the one difference is the fact you play extremely well at home. The Cardinals, for some reason, are not playing well at home, but they have a great record on the road. And we had that threatened a little bit yesterday in Seattle until we bounced back with 6 home runs from the 7th inning on and 13 extra base hits. So hopefully we'll have some of that offense to show your good pitching staff.
Yeah, Al, where did the power come from? 101 home runs by St. Louis.
Well, we really are more of a power-laden ball club. I think that is one thing that they tried to do. And guys like Brandon Moss, who leads the team with home runs, you know, he was coming off that hip surgery last year. At the trade deadline, he hit 19 for the season, but only 4 with St. Louis. Now he's healthy. He's swinging the bat. Of course, a lot of strikeouts will come with that. But I think we have more balance right now. And, of course, Matt Carpenter, you're going to fall in love with him. Just a tremendous ball player, a throwback player that just loves the game and plays it the right way.
And tell us about the improvement of the veteran starting pitcher tonight, Adam Wainwright.
Well, Adam Wainwright is a true ace. He got off to a very, very slow start. Remember last year he missed 4 months with an Achilles heel rupture. Miraculously, he did come back and pitch in September, but, you know, that was out of the bullpen. And he started the season, everybody expected to be vintage Wainwright, and it just wasn't there. He just didn't have the strength, I think, and the leg issue probably we minimized it a little bit. But now he's pitching well, and he's coming out here, and he's 4-0 in this ballpark. So look out, it should be a good matchup.
Al, thank you very much.
Thank you, Fizzy.
That is the Mad Hungarian, Al Roboski. And when we come back, Joel will talk about Chesler Cuthbert, and yes, he has a reason to smile.
Lobster for everyone in Nicaragua on Father's Day. Chesler Cuthbert. Yeah! That is blasted to left field. Chesler Cuthbert ties the game. And that ball's hit well. Left center field. Deep. Gone!
Fizz mentioned it, keep on smiling, and Chesler Cuthbert always has that huge smile on his face. Joel Goldberg back out here in left field, and for the young 23-year-old from Corn Island, Nicaragua, he had the tough task of replacing Mike Moustakas, the all-star who was out for the year. And as we see in our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard, how about what Chesler has been able to do? Everyday job now and batting .280. Interesting that Moose last year batted .284, while Cuthbert at .287 homers, 18 RBI, and beloved in the Royals clubhouse by every single one of those players for what he does on and off the field.
He's impressive, man. He really is. What he can do in the field and what he can do at the plate. he's a special talent for sure.
And one thing that really sticks out in my memories with Chesler was, his first call-up was when Moose was away with his mother when, she wasn't going through some good times. And, you got a kid that's coming to the big leagues for his first time, and his first question was, how's Moose and how's his mother doing? So I think that just says a lot about the type of person he is.
Just a classy kid, and it is really fun to watch him. He follows Eric Hosmer around almost like a little brother, big brother, trying to absorb and learn from one of the Royals veterans, Chesler Cuthbert, a 6-game hitting streak where he's batting .333. House is divided. First pitch coming up next at the K.
Series between the Cardinals and the Royals. Let's check out the Cardinals batting order. They lead the National League in runs scored at 5.3 per game. Matt Carpenter, terrific leadoff guy. Then Diaz, Holiday, Piscotty, and Peralta. And of course, they will face a tough left-hander who has been tough on St. Louis in his young history, Danny Duffy.
Okay, the Danny Duffy of the last 3 starts, not using as many fastballs because he just doesn't want those right-handed hitters to hit homers off of him. Righties this year, 241 average, 10 homers. Now, early on when he was cruising, he was using more fastballs and he had more conviction with it. But I would expect Duffy to come out with that blazing fastball, which averages 95.6 as a tremendous weapon, and bring in some breaking balls and a few changeups. But he's got to establish that fastball first.
He's facing Matt Carpenter, who's been incredibly hot in the month of June.
Carpenter hitting .280 with 3 home runs out of his 13 off of lefties. There's his overall numbers. Solid baseball player. Aggressive, runs the bases hard.
He's batting .377 in the month of June with 4 home runs, and that has taken his average up 15 points.
0 for 3 against Duffy in his career. The hitter in the Cardinal lineup with the most at-bats is Johnny Peralta. He got those in his Tiger days against Duffy.
Carpenter pops it up left side. Gordon wants it and takes it for the first out. Our Golden Oak lending keys to the game.
Ambush him. That's right, we're talking about Wainwright. So the Royals offense need to get him early. At first pitches, he's given up a .464 average against. And what gives? Who knows? Redbirds have the 2nd best road record in baseball behind the Giants at 24-14. And the Royals have the best home record. Let's see.
Royals at 26-10, winning 72% of their home games. They won yesterday 6-1 over Houston. And here is Aledis Diaz out of Cuba. Ledmus really coming on strong. They're having a fine spring training camp. And he tries to drop one into right field, and it will get by Orlando. Backed up nicely by Kane, but Diaz scoots into second base with a double.
Paulo was tracking it. He was closing hard on it and just couldn't get on the ground in time to make the catch. It's going to be a clean double. He tried to trap it, you know, and keep it from going by him, but Kane did a nice job of backing up. But with Diaz's speed, this young man here, he could be a rookie of the year if he stays healthy. 20th double on the season for this young man.
Now a tough right-hander in Matt Holiday, batting .254 with 14 home runs. Last year, because of injuries, Hud, he had only 4 home runs and 10 more than that already.
It's amazing how these guys, they play hurt, these baseball players, because that's just part of the nature of the business. You have to play with little nagging pains, but when you don't have those nagging pains, true colors come out. Holiday's a beast. Strong. Very compact. I was walking by the Cardinals hitting cages today, talking to John Mayberry, a friend of mine. He's their hitting coach. And I took a peek over in the weight room over there, and I saw this guy with 100-pound dumbbells in each one of his hands. Strong guy doing his little weights early before the game.
And he blasts this one to center field. Kane going back. And it is gone. A home run for Matt Holiday, and St. Louis takes the early 2-0 lead.
Just got through talking about this guy, how strong he is. You leave a fastball out over the middle, he takes an easy swing with that natural strength he's got. Whoa, man, that's his 15th home run and gives the Redbirds the lead early. See that? He just picks his leg up, loads up the hips, and trusts his hands. Caught the ball underneath. Kane with a great try there. Just no chance, has a foot over his glove.
Now Stephen Piscotty, and he hits it well to deep right field. Back goes Orlando.
Whew, and that
was able to run it down beautifully with those tremendous strides.
And that wasn't easy. Cardinals coming out hacking off Duffy. Look at him. Look at Paulo. Took his eye off of Kane just to see where he was and almost ran it, and was able to make the catch. Whew.
Our Kubota power stats, we're seeing the power of St. Louis already. They are tied for second in the National League. They now have 102 home runs. First in runs scored at 5.3 per game. Fifth in batting average, hitting .263. And here's Johnny Peralta back from the injury. He injured his left thumb and recalled on June 7th.
Well, they get him rounding off into shape. There's another power bat. He's got 194 home runs coming into this season in his career. For defense for the Kansas City Royals. Duffy, 19 career pickoffs. He's got a couple this year. He has a nice step-off move that he'll use at times as that runner is starting to get his lead, catch him by surprise.
Duffy gets a strike across to strike out Johnny Peralta, but Matt Holliday goes deep for the 15th time this year. The early Cardinal lead. Wainwright gets the start for St. Louis, and as we take a look at the key in the driver's seat, his last 7 starts, he has really had great command of his fastball.
That's right. He's starting to round into form, Fizz. The first 8 starts of the year, remember he missed almost all of last season with the torn Achilles tendon. So it took him some time to get his rhythm, to get that feel back, but he's gotten it. Last 7, he's back to Wainwright.
He has never lost at Kauffman Stadium. 4-0 record. Whit Merrifield will lead things off. Strike 1.
Talked about the first pitch strikes that he throws. Merrifield, Gordon, Kane, Hosmer, Salvi, Morales, Palmeiro. Excuse me, not Palmeiro. That's Paulo Orlando. Palmeiro's been retired for several years now.
Orlando or Rafael.
That's right, either one. But we'll take Orlando right now in right field. Merrifield, get her going.
There's that big curve. Fastball, curve, cutter. Occasional changeup, not many. Maybe just threw 2 in his last outing. Likes to show that big curve to your first pitch.
And
Cutter.
he does get Whit Merrifield to reach for that cut fastball and strikes him out.
And that's his go-to pitch for a strikeout. Going to have to discipline themselves. The hitters are the Royals to stay off of that. That's way off the plate. It's very aggressive, Wainwright is, with his fastball inside on lefties and righties. Likes to come in there, especially when he gets in a jam. Going to try to get out there and establish the fastball. It's not overpowering. His average is 90 miles an hour. He's going to go 89 to 92 with the velocity there.
Gordon with his 3rd straight start. Missed 29 games because of the fracture in his right wrist. And that's a strike, a 1-1 count.
That Achilles tendon that went last April, I mean, that's a tough injury. And for him to be able to come back in September was really some kind of quick healing for him. They weren't expecting him at all.
Curveball knocked foul, and he had a 6.8 ERA after his first 8 starts. And then all of a sudden the command came back, and they said also that terrific snap on the curveball as well.
It's a 12 to 6er, and then you know that one pitch there can really throw off the timing of the hitter. A lot like Pfister yesterday. Pfister had that big curve he would bring in there every so often. That kind of gets those hitters to think twice. It's off the plate. Wainwright, he's a veteran, he's a master. He knows if you're in the middle, you're in trouble. Good
Gordon
cutter.
swings and misses and strikes out.
Ooh. Wainwright's looking tough tonight so far early. Man, that's a little short, little snappy cutter. That's what they call that. It's not quite a slider, although sometimes it plays into that pitch. It looks like a slider.
Lorenzo Cain picking things up lately. 5 hits in his last 2 games. Still looking for his first home run in the month of June, and he took a vicious rip at the first offering by Wainwright, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and winds up on the seat of his pants.
Yep, lost his back foot. He's lost his balance. And how about Yachty? Showing some sportsmanship right there. You don't see that very often when a hitter loses his balance that much to where he goes down, and Yachty says, "Hey, bud, let me help you, man."
Sal Perez would do that.
Better believe it.
To center field. In comes the center fielder Tommy Pham, but it will drop for a hit.
Make Locaine 3 for 7 now lifetime off of Wainwright. Cardinal defense. Yachty here, Molina. Why wouldn't we show him? Tough to steal a bag off. 21 out of 29 this year. He's always been good. This guy's one of the best catchers there is in baseball. And the other one's sitting in the Royals dugout. Both have a lot of respect for one another. They both wear the gold. They both love to throw out runners.
Now Eric Hosmer.
Haas having a difficult time in his career off of Wainwright. Just 1 for 13. See if he can change that. It's going to have to be alive for that cutter in. All the hitters, both the lefties and righties, are going to have to discipline themselves to stay off of that pitch. It looks really good. It starts out on one of the corners and ends up off of the plate, and you can't square it up. You can foul it off and hit little ground balls, and that's the best you can do.
And opponents have even numbers against Wainwright, left-handers, right-handers. Left-handers batting .276, righties hitting .275.
Righties have taken him deep 6 times and lefties twice, but Haas just missed a good pitch there.
Just barely misses outside, 3-1.
He can come to you with that type of movement that Wainwright has here. If you try to pull him, you know, you could just hit a little weak ground ball. So Haas has been excellent going to the opposite field all year long. See if he can keep his hands inside of one here. His power is good to left center field.
Walked him. So with 2 out, a single by Kane, a walk to Hosmer, and here comes the Royals catcher Salvador Perez, who leads the All-Star game voting for the American League.
Yep, we got to keep voting, folks. We still got a few days left, though. Don't let off the gas pedal. We got to keep these guys in. Keep Salvi as the #1 vote getter.
And not only that, a lot of the Royals in the clubhouse also taking batting practice wearing those Vote Kane t-shirts.
That's right. Lorenzo Kane, he's on the borderline of even making the team. We got to make a final push for him. And David Ortiz is closing in on Salvi for the most votes in the American League. Can't let that happen. Salvi just hitting .220 with runners in scoring position. I'd like to up that mark here.
You can vote as many as 35 times, and all the way to June 30th. Vote Royals, Royals.com/vote. Rex, we all know that Haas, Perez, and Kane are very deserving, but the guys who probably will also be added to what kind of seasons they're having, Wade Davis and Kelvin Herrera. And obviously they'll be selected by the coaches.
You got to
manager Ned Yost.
You got to have both of those guys.
Yeah.
If you want to win and secure home field advantage.
They'll get out of play.
We saw how important that was for the Royals' first hand last year. And I thought it was unbelievable that Ned took his entire coaching staff. They had like 6 players on the team. The Royals were well represented last season, and it came into play. Ned Yost used his guys and managed a terrific game and got home field advantage for himself and his team, and it worked.
There's a strike at the knees, and that was so important during the World Series. First 2 games were in Kansas City. The Royals won both of those, and then they go to New York. And they were able to take advantage of the Mets there, even though they did lose 1 game, but they would win it in 5.
Okay, remember, aggressive inside here when he gets in a jam.
Is rolled to the right side, picked off by Carpenter. He drops the ball, and Kane was thinking about breaking for home, but held up, and the Royals have loaded him for the hot Kendrys Morales. That's an error for Matt Carpenter.
Well, he was playing up the middle on that pole. Look where he is up there at the top of your screen. And then this little doinker, little drubber in the infield here. He tried to rush it, and he had a little bit more time. And you see he looked up. He didn't see the ball all the way into his glove. Now Carpenter, he's a fine infielder. He's got good hands. But in that particular play there, it didn't work. Royals need to make him pay here. That's the 9th error by Carpenter this season.
Historically, St. Louis has been a very good defense, but that was their 55th error already this year. Outside, ball 1. Kendrys Morales was the difference yesterday with a pair of home runs. One gave him the lead earlier. The next broke that 1-1 tie.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, man, he is really seeing the ball. His head position is excellent. It's holding still. Therefore, the ball is sitting on a tee for him. He's using the whole field. Now, he pulled those home runs yesterday, but he's got some good pop to the opposite field. That's what he wants to think in this situation here.
He does have 2 grand slams in his career, including one as an Angel that was a walk-off, and at the end of it, during the celebration, he broke his leg severely.
They really need to capitalize off of Wainwright early before he settles in.
And you talked about ambush first pitch.
That's right, cutters. You know, the first pitch was off the plate and away from him here. Cutters in, be careful. He wants to jam you.
Strike to barely graze the outside corner.
Big curveball. Looked to me like it was off the plate.
Sure was. Jordan Baker is the home plate umpire. Tim Timmons at first. Ryan Blakeney at second. Crew chief Mike Everett at third. Another breaking ball for strike two.
Ah, he's pitching him backwards a little bit now. First pitch was a fastball way away. Next two were curves. The opponent average with 2 outs on him and runners in scoring position. He's been stingy, like most aces. They really know how to pitch when their backs are against the wall here.
And that is ripped to right, base hit. Kane will score. Hosmer coming home, and he ties the game. And Kendrys Morales stays hot.
That's exactly how you do it. He wasn't trying to muscle up. He's in protected mode. He went with a third straight curveball in this at bat. Now, when you throw 2 and he takes them, he gets a good look at him. That third one, right over the middle. Ah, nice hitting. He hit it over the shift. Right over Carpenter's had great placement. Hosmer had a great jump at second base. And with 2 outs, you're already going to get a good jump because you're going on contact. Way to answer right back. Kamo is getting hot. Keep the line moving.
Well, Orlando has been very hot in the 10-game hit streak. 19 hits and 40 at bats with 5 extra base hits.
You miss off the plate, I mean, inside that zone anywhere with Paulo, you're in trouble. Royals make the error by Carpenter hurt him, made him pay.
They have the 3rd most errors in baseball with 55. The Royals with only 40.
No, but they've had a lot of infielders move. Let's see where this pitch was. Right on the corner, good spot. They've been moving around their infield. And they've had a lot of different players moving in and out with Peralta out. The kid Diaz has been there. Carpenter was playing third. Now he's playing second. So there's been a little bit of lack of continuity in their lineup. Good spot.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. But the next pitch by Wainwright will be his 29th of the inning.
Well, you just look back at Salvi's at bat. He was off balance. He hit a little dribbler, a little drubber. How many times in the last 3 years have we seen this Royals offense capitalize on putting the ball in play? That just kept the line moving.
Paulo popped it up right side, playable for Jed Jerko, the first baseman. That will do it. But a clutch 2-out base hit by that man. Kendrys Morales ties the game.
There you go, Danny Duffy. Got a new game for you. Great piece of hit.
to face Yadier Molina, and we see two of the best catchers, if not the two best in baseball, and you look at what they have been able to do defensively and offensively since 2013, and the numbers certainly show that they are among the best. And guys, talking to Yadier Molina today, as he is going to lead off with the opposite field hit, he said that Salvador Perez in the past came up to him and said, "You were my favorite catcher growing up. I looked up to you." Molina now today telling me, now I look up to him because he is a legitimate superstar with power, and his power ahead of where Molina's was. First 6 seasons for Salvi, 77 homers, Molina 35.
And Joel Pedro Grifol, who's the catching instructor for the Royals, he told me that Salvador Perez will be in the top step of that dugout, studying the way Yadi Molina not only calls the game with blocks balls in the dirt, but also his visits to the mound when he walks out to visit with the pitcher.
There's always opportunities to learn in this game, Fizz. No one is above that. That's for sure. Even Wainwright, 35 years old, longtime veteran pitchers, learning every day as well. Salvi, he's got tremendous skill sets.
Here is Brandon Moss, who's had a lot of success in this ballpark. Very good power hitter. We saw him with the Oakland A's and also the Cleveland Indians, but he hit 2 home runs in that wild card game for the Athletics that put them in front, and then the Royals had that marvelous comeback, trailing by 4 runs in the 7th inning to come back and win it in extras. 2-1.
Not a lot of left-handed batters have any success against Duffy. Lefty's just batting .190 coming into this game with no homers.
Swung on and missed, a 2-2 count.
Now as this game moves along, Duffy and Salvi are going to have to be able to mix that first pitch effectively, because the way the Cardinals are coming out swinging on his first pitch, they got to mix it up. Can't be throwing first pitch heaters down the middle.
This time he went with that breaking ball that just did sweep away, and Moss did not bite, so a full count. Danny has induced 3 double plays this year. Sal says keep it down. He struck him out.
Good to see him with that 4-seam fastball, staying with it. Wasn't exactly down, but it was on the outer half of the plate and out of the middle. That ball was by you.
Now Jed Jerko. He had 1 hit in the recent Seattle series, but the 1 hit was a home run acquired from the San Diego Padres in the offseason. One time he was one of the crown jewels in the Padres organization and given a 6-year deal. Struggled last year, low average this year, and he's always had good power but a lot of strikeouts.
Yep. He's hitting .210 off of lefties this year, 2 out of his 7 homers against those lefties. Just keep it down. Duffy more of a fly ball pitcher. And you know, one of the things that's plagued Danny in his last start for sure was the high fastball getting fouled off. That taxes pitch count.
Yeah, he had 103 pitches in only 4 2/3 innings.
That was some of the Danny Duffy of old, but it's hard to control that. When you're up there pitching, good breaking ball.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
That breaker there is important if he uses that down and in on the righties. He's got to get him off his fastball. Keep him off of it.
Line to Whit Merrifield, makes the catch. They get 1 and 2. I thought they had the double play either way because they thought he caught it on the line.
He did.
But it's a 4-6-3 double play either way.
It don't matter. They'll take it, but he caught this before it hit the ground. See the umpire, watch him. He's signaling out right there. 2, 3. That's triple play. How about it? You by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Great I-70 series, Royals and Cardinals. It will be Alcides Escobar to lead things off, then Chesler, Cuthbert, and Whit Merrifield. Wainwright faced 7 and had to throw 30 pitches in the first. And that ball knocked to left field. A lot of first pitch curveballs, and the Royals know that. So Escobar was sitting on that pitch. He says, all right, if he's going to throw me that first pitch curve, and really the opponents this year off of that curveball from Wainwright's hand are only hitting 170. That's off the end of the bat, but he hung it. It stayed up. So Wainwright has a lot of confidence in that pitch. Eskies jumped on it, and Morales with the 2-out, 2 RBI single off that curveball in the last inning.
Escobar with 10 stolen bases, and Wainwright throws over. He knows the Royals are a running team, 47 steals this year, and Eski with 10 of them.
Wainwright at 6'7", 235 pounds. It's a lot of moving parts there, but he's a fine athlete. He's got a nice quick move. Fastball in. And you know, this guy, Wainwright, he was a football punter in his day. So he has a little bit of that other sport in him. More of a well-rounded athlete.
Chesler Cuthbert has hit in 6 straight games to up his average to 280.
Teams like pitchers like Wainwright that are tall. They have that little downhill angle, and that makes that angle at that height makes it a little bit tougher to square that baseball up, although it is the toughest thing in sport, all of sport. Hitting a round ball with a round bat. Ted Williams said it, and I guarantee you Michael Jordan would second that. Because Michael Jordan came out of playing one of the greatest basketball stars there ever was, and he came out to play baseball and found out it's a little bit hard to play. That consistency is very difficult.
Barely hit over 200 at Double-A. on the hands of Chesler. Cuthbert fights it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Joe Goldberg did an interview with Eric Hosmer with Whit Merrifield about Chesler, and it was a delightful story about this young man and his personality and his heart. And he said when he came up last year it was because of the illness to Mike Moustakas' mom, and Chesler's first question was, how is Moose and how is his mom? And that really moved Eric Hosmer, because he said, here's a young man playing his first major league game and he's concerned about a teammate.
Well, you know, you can credit his parents for that.
Yeah.
And upbringing is very important for a lot of young guys.
Talked about his dad, Lewis, during Father's Day. Little bit outside. 3-2.
Cutters away.
Royals fans bringing their friends, inviting them over from St. Louis. Will Escobar go now with a 3-2 count? Does not. Again on the hands of Chesler. And here is Eric Hosmer and Whit Merrifield talking about that.
And one thing that really sticks out in my memories with Chesler was, you know, his first call-up was when Moose was away with his mother, when you know, she wasn't going through some good times, and you know, you got a kid that's coming to the big leagues for his first time, and his first question was, how's Moose and how's his mother doing? So I think that just says a lot about the type of person he is.
And his smile is so contagious.
That's right. He plays with joy. He's a perfect fit right where he is in this Royals uniform. They'll take it. How about this? 8-pitch at bat. Wainwright throwing 29 pitches in his first inning. Tax that pitch count. Get this big ace out of the game. Nice job. Even if he doesn't reach and get a base hit, he's done a good job at milking that pitch count.
Pops it up. In comes Stephen Piscotty, and he gets there right on the foul line. Our Honda most trusted player has been great at home, Whit Merrifield. He has been incredible, hitting in each of his first 17 home starts.
Ooh, Whitley. He is dealing. Short, compact, great bottom hand. Stays in the middle of the field for the most part. Some kind of start to his career. Does Rocco Baldelli and Albert Pujols have more?
Since 1913. The Whitting machine.
Don't you just love it? Hey, these
love fans.
They're fantastic.
Escobar goes, and there's Merrifield to right field, and Escobar will take third. That's why the Royals love this kid. Executes so well.
This guy, he's a baseball player. He knows how to play the game. Hit and run on you. You're going to pull it sometimes, but this ball was way in. Look at how he pulled his hands in. That bottom hand, I talked about how magical that is for him. Oh, that don't get no better. He pulled his hands in right next to his belly button and just shot that out there in the open area.
That's tough to do.
Better believe it is. You got to have great hands and eye coordination for that, Biz, and he's able to do that because he understands when that runner goes ahead of him, second baseman are always going to cover with the right-handed pull hitter, and he just hit that spot.
30 of 33 major league starts. He has picked up a base hit, and now the Royals have the go-ahead run at third base with less than 2 outs. The infield playing back.
So stay out of a double play situation. Alex is going to have to stay inside of the ball with his hands.
Strike one.
Those cutters in. If he tries to pull them, they're going to be ground balls, and he could find a hole over there between first base and second baseman. But Alex, in his rehab stint before he got healthy up here and they put him back in the lineup, had a lot of hits to the opposite field down there.
And he had very good success against St. Louis last year. 5 for 15, and 2 of those hits were home runs.
Gotta love it, huh? We got 4 days, straight days of this. 2 at the K and 2 at Busch.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Cutter in on his hands. Good spot. Talked about how aggressive he is when he gets in trouble. Wainwright's coming in aggressive, just like he did with Merrifield. It's a little cutter that's up. It's the best Alex could do with that. Come right back with the same pitch.
Try to tease him upstairs.
Watch how quiet Yadier Molina is back there. Very calm and doesn't jump. Now he'll move right when the pitcher's in his windup for location. But this guy is really smooth, confident, very calm, and that's a soothing effect for his pitchers. Never panics. Says, how about the curveball? Let's see what we can do with that. Or maybe a changeup.
Outside corner, perfectly located at 86 miles an hour, and Gordo strikes out looking.
Wow. Man, if that is a strike, there's no way you're going to hit that. So as long as Jordan Baker is consistent with both sides, with Duffy and with Wainwright, that's all right. But that pitch is no way you can hit that. You might get fouled off.
You were talking about Molina being so quiet back there, the way he framed that to help out Jordan Baker, who's a tall umpire.
He's the best.
Swing and a miss by Kane, who singled his first time up and scored at the base hit by Kendrys Morales that tied the game.
Pretty good spot. Right where Yachty wanted it.
Single by Escobar, single by Merrifield, first and third, but now 2 out. One and 2.
Yep, Kane didn't want to do it. Cutter out of the zone. Merrifield at first base has been successful in steal attempts 4 out of 5 times.
The Royals are still making Wainwright move. He's thrown 48 pitches. They're already in the St. Louis bullpen. His next pitch will be his 50th. He's only recorded 5 outs.
Hadn't shown Lorenzo that big curve yet. Maybe he doesn't stay with it. He might just stay with his cutter. Cutter away. Swung at it once. That didn't do it again. That's a good job laying off it. Now he's got to make him come in. Hosmer on deck. Not going to get any easier for Wainwright.
And my comment about being in the bullpen, the most pitches he's thrown in a game this year is 108. I talked about coming back from the Achilles injury. He's at 50 and just in the second inning, so the St. Louis bullpen will be used tonight. Fought it off.
Ooh, man, that's the pitch he was waiting for. Good short compact swing. That ball was heading to right field.
They are competing though on tough pitches from Wainwright.
They are, they're ready, but that pitch there, that stays up. And when that ball starts up around your letters like that, that's going to be a hittable pitch. You want to try to pick up that release point as soon as you possibly can.
back up the middle. That's a base hit. Escobar scores. Merrifield to third.
Second consecutive hit up the middle for Lorenzo Cain. Royals fans and loving that. Picking up another ribby. That's 39 for him on the season. That's a beautiful swing, and he earned that by laying off of those pitches, making him come in there. 3-2. He had to throw something over the plate, and Lorenzo didn't try to do too much. Put it right back where it came from. Biggest hole on the diamond. Merrifield on the run.
First and third again now with Hosmer up. Hosmer walked his first time up. Wainwright usually has terrific command. Over 50 pitches already. And the Royals 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. And we told you that Wainwright number with 2 outs, RASP 115 batting average against, and the Royals already 3 hits with runners in scoring position, or 2 tonight. Three hits with runners in scoring position with 2 outs coming in, but they have 2 against Wainwright tonight. Big one by Morales and another big one by Cain. It's 3-2 KC.
Everybody knows the Royals aren't big swingers. They're not up there trying to swing for the fences. This is how they score their runs. They keep the line moving, put the ball in play, and along the way give pitchers headaches.
And the way the defense is playing Hosmer with that third baseman way off the back, Merrifield's really getting a huge lead. So if a curveball bounces in the dirt and just gets a little bit away from Molina, Witt could score.
Yep, it's very possible, but Wainwright so far this year has not thrown a wild pitch. Something you look for, though, especially with the third baseman Peralta way off the bag like that.
Three and one. Hosmer has not gone deep in his last 14 games. Perez waiting his turn. That's a fair ball. Merrifield scores. Cain rolling around third. He's coming home. Throw by Piscotty, not in time. It's cut up, and the Royals coming up big with 2 out.
The Royals are rocking Wainwright. It's not going right. That pitch is way in. Hosmer is able to get on top of it and just bounce it over Jorko's head. That's perfect. Oh man, infield in. Umpire, first base umpire got turned around a little bit, but Tim Timmons was able to make the right call. And Cain coming hard all the way around. Chesler with a no-brainer sending him.
2 more RBIs by Hosmer, giving him 48 on the year. That leads the club. He's getting close to the top 10 in the American League. The leader is Edwin Encarnacion of Toronto with 66.
Derek Lilliquist, pitching coach for Mike Matheny, coming out having a little chat with the veteran. Really just to kind of let him catch his breath.
Sal goes after the first pitch, pops it up. Jerko over, but is back into the seats. And Wainwright started so brilliantly. Hud struck out the first 2 Royals, but Kansas City has had 8 base runners after that.
Yeah, they're relentless.
29 pitches in the first, 29 in the second.
Yeah, wearing him down. You know, Mike Matheny is thinking right now, wow, who am I going to get up next? What a classy skipper he is. Hard to believe he's already in his 5th season as a Cardinal manager.
And he's got a world championship under his belt.
That's right. One heck of a leader.
There's a base hit. Hosmer's going to score easily. And the Royals go in front 6-2. Relentless.
That's right. That curveball is not working. They're all up. He wants to drop that in front of home plate, but he hasn't been able to find the release of that. Now, almost got there, but still, Salvi, good piece of hitting. A little short step, and then there's a little bit of a half a second pause with your hands to pick up the breaking ball and then take your hands right to it. Very nice pitch recognition by the Royals. They're picking that pitch up, just like Morales did in his last at-bat. He threw him 3 of those curveballs, and Morales got the 3rd one for a base hit. 2 stakes attached. Let's take a look at the at-bat from Morales. Now watch Wainwright. You'll see his pitching. He's got his index finger off of the ball, and he flips it over there. Now you'd think that a hitter could see that finger up like that off the ball, but you can't. Like I said, coming into this game, hitters in the league, in the National League and American League, only hitting 170 off of that curveball. So I think, you know, if you could pick up that pitch and you see that finger up like that, they'd be hitting 300 off of that pitch. It's all about reaction. It's about picking it up and run the bases. Yes, sir, you are correct.
Another line drive base hit for Kendrys Morales. And the ball gets away from Piscotty. This will allow Perez to get to 3rd. A single and then an error on the right fielder Stephen Piscotty. The 2nd error for the Cardinals tonight.
How about the many times Morales early in the season was hitting balls into the shift? Now on that curveball again, he hits it over Carpenter, the 2nd baseman, who's playing shallow right field. The worm has turned for Morales.
Yeah, he was the hard luck hitter the first 2 months of the season. So many lineouts, but as you reminded me so many times in our 20 years together, it all evens out.
And it is for Morales right now so far, but don't stop there. Perfect touch. Royals breaking out some frenzy hitting on one of the best.
Wainwright, a veteran who has won more than 20 games twice in his career, finished 2nd in the Cy Young in 2010, 2013. And all of a sudden activity in that Cardinals bullpen as Wainwright has thrown 66 pitches and still not yet through 2 innings.
Oh man, that was a good pitch down low. Paulo Orlando hitting .487 with runners in scoring position this season. An incredible number for him. And the reason is he just keeps that same short, compact swing with a great mental approach, not trying to do too much. Let's talk about the Morales and that shift a little bit here. Now here's the first hit. You see where Carpenter is out there. That's where they all been playing him for the most part. How about that? Just a little topspin lob, just enough to get it over his head. Not 1 but 2 Royals scored. And then here's his other one. Almost identical. He's going good. Piscotty couldn't find a handle. Royals make him pay.
Left side, fielded by the third baseman, Johnny Peralta. They get the force at second, but the Royals come up with 4 runs in the second inning. Keep the line moving.
Oh, you better believe it. Look at the frenzy hit and break out. It drives a pitcher batty. And run the bases. Salvi with a nice stroke. Keep it going, fellas.
We head to the third inning played. Danny Duffy will face Tommy Pham to open this third inning, now with a 4-run lead. Danny's really got to be on his game. We told you how strong the St. Louis offense has been this year. They won yesterday 11-6 over the Seattle Mariners and hit 6 home runs after the 7th inning. Struck him out. Royals fans, next time you want to grab Royal seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you love whenever you want, you can also find the best seat for your buck when you sort by best value. We take the price and location of seats and show you which tickets at StubHub give you the best deal. So get the StubHub app today. Matt Carpenter pulls it to the right side. Easy play for Hosmer. 2 out. And how about that, Hud? Danny Duffy, what has he thrown? 3 pitches. And Adam Wainwright, trying to just catch his breath in the St. Louis dugout, has thrown over 60.
Yeah, well, good for Danny Duffy. Typically, hitters foul a lot of pitches off with him. He's able to keep it down. And Wainwright, what's impressive about the Royals, what they're doing to him, is that he's at his best with 2 outs, and especially 2 outs with runners in scoring position, just giving up averages under 200. And the Royals now are 6 for 9 with 2 outs and runners in scoring. All the 6 runs with 2 outs. So they're beating him at his best.
Diaz doubled his first time up, and that was preceding the home run by Matt Holliday.
This young man here, he loves fastballs. He's an excellent hitting fastball for a rookie. I mean, you know, that's the bread and butter. You can hit that pitch, great. Now the league's going to try to figure him out with secondary pitches, see how he handles those.
He's a great story. He's St. Louis's first venture into the Cuban market. Signed him to a 3-year, $8 million deal. Ground ball, shortstop Escobar. Quick and easy inning for Danny Duffy. We'll be visiting with yesterday's winning pitcher Ian Kennedy when we come back. Here in the bottom of the third, and we go to our AT&T high-speed replay. Ian Kennedy was fantastic yesterday.
That's right. He stood up just like Ned Yost needed him to. Got to shut down that one of the most powerful and explosive offenses, and they were a firecracker hot. He hit his corners, hit his spots, kept the ball down, and punched them out. It was a fantastic outing, just what the Royals needed.
And Ian Kennedy now joins us in the Royals dugout. Congratulations on your win. Ian, when did you know that you were on? Because we saw it in the broadcast booth, hitting both sides of the plate, and a great depth in your curveball.
I wish I could say I knew earlier. Obviously not the first batter of the game. I walked him first, but you know, like I knew I had a big test in front of me, and I was trying to, you know, help the boys out a little bit because I knew our starters first couple days had a rough start. They're a great offense, and I knew I had a big task in front of me. So yeah, I just tried to hit the corners like you said and get my breaking balls over strikes.
Ian, in the 7 teams I got to play for in my career, I always would talk about the pitchers competing against each other inside their own clubhouse, passing the baton from one good start to the next. That's contagious, and that's really the bread and butter and the currency of Major League Ball is pitching, the starting pitching staff. Can you explain how that internal competition works?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of on our shoulders. If we have a bad day, you know, we joke around with the position players. If they have a bad day, no one really notices. Hopefully somebody else can pick them up. But you know, as a starter, you try to set the game up right, and you know, just kind of keep your team a chance, whether you have the good day or bad day. And you know, it's that little competition amongst each other, and everybody starts rolling. You try to keep that ball rolling, and if it's not going very well, you try to be the guy that kind of picks it up and get it started again.
2 outs now in the third inning, and Ian, during the Dad's Week, I had a chance to meet with your dad, and he told me about you, and he said, my son loves the mental dynamics and the chess game of the pitcher-hitter competition. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, you're facing guys, since I become to the American League, you're facing guys first time or, you know, the second time around, especially if they're in your division. And the second time, third time around, you're, you know, facing Detroit Tigers over and over. And that's where, you know, you got to figure out something different to throw the Miguel Cabrera and maybe invent a pitch out there while you're trying to get him out. But yeah, I have a lot of fun in that. I think one of the hitters I like to compare when I've played in the National League in the West for so long, I faced Adrian Gonzalez so much that you know, there are special times where he didn't see a slider from me in a couple years, so every once in a while I'd throw that pitch, and you know, that was a quick inning. But
Darn it. You can stay if you want. You're on a roll.
I'll stay.
All right. We'll take a break and come back with more with Ian Kennedy right after this. Danny Duffy and the Royals with a 6-2 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Steve Physioc along with Rex Hudler and starting pitcher Ian Kennedy, who struck out a season-high 11 yesterday and only walked 1 in the Royals' 6-1 victory over Houston. Now Duffy working against Matt Holliday, and he gets strike 1. Ian, we were talking with you about Gonzalez and about so many matchups you had in your career with Adrian. You're telling that story. Could you finish it?
Yeah, so after, I guess there's a time where you have a starting pitcher hitter matchup, and you might have some success, a game here and there, and there's a certain time you face them 4 or 5 times a year, and you're just trying to find something new, and every once in a while you have to throw some other pitch that you don't throw before, and he never thought a slider or anything that I threw, and I decided to throw him one. And he kind of looked at me, and that's kind of the things that you have to do in order to survive, especially someone like that who's one of the best hitters in the National League. And you see that as, hope Duffy's all right. But you see that a lot, and you try to survive as much as you can, and you go.
Ned was going to go out there for a second, Ian, but Danny just waved him up. Go ahead.
So what I was saying is that you're just trying to do a lot of things. You're trying to pick up little things here and there that kind of give you advantage, and you just got to keep the hitters on their toes. And whether some guys would drop an arm angle if they can't get a guy out or something, and maybe do a slide step to throw off their timing. But that's part of the pitching. You see a lot of guys now doing the quick pitch, and you're just trying to do anything you possibly can. And these big league hitters are getting better and better, and we're trying to find different ways to get them out.
Yeah, they don't miss out over the middle, do they?
No, not very much.
I mean, they're going to put the ball in play. That's where defense comes in so handily here. Now, why so much success for you starters here at the K compared to on the road?
Well, we got a you hear a lot of hitters talk about it, but we have a pitcher-friendly ballpark where you can just let the outfielders run it down. I make Lorenzo work out there. I make our outfielders work. And Esky saved me so many times, getting the balls in the hole, making some unbelievable plays that I've never seen before. And we have such a good defense, you can just allow them to play.
Matt Holliday with a fly out to right field. And Ian, you have really committed yourself to the Kansas City Royals, and I say that because I watched you pitch at USC. You grew up in Southern California, but you and your wife, who was a basketball player for the Trojans, decided to move to Kansas City and make that commitment. And to add to that, your dad told me, yeah, I'm looking for real estate too, but I think Ian's sister is going to draw the line and keep me in SoCal.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting them out of California too quickly. I think if they spend one winter here, they go right back. Yeah, we decided to move out here. Our kids are get to that age where with schools and getting really important, and for me, family is really important for me, and just not to be moving them around too much, being stationary one place, and we wanted to raise our kids here in Kansas City, and this organization is great, but we heard a lot of good things about the city of Kansas City and the Midwest feel. My wife's from St. Louis, but she doesn't have she doesn't have family here, so this is a big series for her family.
Ian, the importance of community, and you're a veteran and you've been to a lot of different places. What do you like to do most when it comes to the community's work?
In San Diego, we kind of started something. We had a little thing going on with the Navy, and my brother-in-law being in the Navy and him having 4 kids, we just had the idea just to, maybe we should host the ships that are deployed and host the moms or the dads that were here watching over their kids, and we would bring them out to Petco Park, and we have them get face painted to get to meet the mascot, watch batting practice. Sometimes it was the first time they ever been out to a big league baseball game. And moving to Kansas City, that was one of the things. Like, not a big Navy presence here, obviously, but we wanted to. We're kind of been praying about it and trying to figure out where God has us led to help out, and where He wants our time. And we're not too much of a rush, because we feel like the more we pray about it, it's going to come more clear to us. And we've only been here for a couple months, and I think that's kind of see where He leads us.
Well, your character is one of the reasons that Dayton Moore was drawn to you, and Dave Island as well, who was your pitching coach with the New York Yankees, as a fly ball goes to center field, and Lorenzo Cain is right there. Ian, thank you so much for your presence and your presence in the clubhouse as well, helping your teammates out.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That is Ian Kennedy, Royal starting pitcher, and Danny Duffy with a 6-2 lead. Buck O'Neill legacy seat, and Cleo started her career hot as a nurse, but took a leave of absence to enter the Air Force. Completing her tour, she worked at St. Mary's Hospital, where she was the head nurse of the surgical recovery room for 15 years, all while maintaining her status in the Air Force Reserves. Eventually transferred to the Missouri National Guard, she was the chief nurse of the unit and promoted to full colonel, making her the first African-American woman to reach this rank in the United States. She not only should be getting the Buck O'Neill legacy seat, she should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, no question. Cleo, thank you so much. We need more people like you, with big hearts and willing to serve and love others.
And even following her military service, Hud, she worked in home health care and served on the board of the Niles Home for Children. What a lady.
I wonder, congratulations. Getting to sit in that famous seat.
Here is Alex Gordon. Wainwright has struck him out twice. Really working with that cut fastball in on his hands.
Wainwright, he has the plan, but he just wasn't able to early in this game gets settled in. Now he's just coming off of his first 1-2-3 inning of the Royals.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He threw 40 pitches in the 2nd inning. Danny Duffy in the 3rd and the 4th threw a total of 18. Struck him out.
Ooh, that's the 3rd time he's gotten Alex. He's pitched him very tough. Right on the edges. This cutter in. Just got him looking for it.
Now Lorenzo Cain tries to drop one to right, but coming in to make a fine running catch, Stephen Piscotty, and they're 2 out. He's now retired 6 straight since the base hit by Kendrys Morales.
How about Ian Kennedy? He's fresh. He's fun to talk to. Honest. Great integrity. He's willing to stand up.
And he is just another example of why our community loves this Royals organization. They are great representatives for our community.
Countless of men and women who are overseas protecting our country. Men and women that are sick, that are trying to get well, all watching this ball club. It helps heal them. It helps take their mind away from the real world. It's very important. And the Royals recognize that. Team, the players. I've never been with a team ever, player and as a broadcaster, that had such giving hearts, and we're looking, coming out of that dugout, looking for people to say hi to and to lift their spirits. Oh man, good spot.
Wainwright really sharp after a rough first 2 innings, but the Royals take a 6-2 lead to the 5th. Game 1 of the 4-game I-70 series, and our game summary is about clutch. The Royals scored all 6 runs with 2 outs off a premier pitcher in Adam Wainwright. Morales tied the game with a clutch 2-out base hit in the 1st. And then he was one of 6 Royals to get hits in that 4-run 2nd. Yadier Molina, who led off his 2nd inning with a base hit.
That's right.
St. Louis, yeah.
Happy you're here.
Red state, blue state, in an election year. Fouled off.
Looked like that hit the top of the zone. Jordan Baker has been giving that to Wainwright and not to Duffy.
3-1 count.
Looked pretty good too. All you want is just to establish your strike zone and just do it both ways. Give it to both sides.
That was our Missouri Lottery box tracks. It's a swing and a miss on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You talked at the start of the game where he threw less fastballs his last 3 starts. It seems like he's getting back there.
And that's his bread and butter. That pitch is so hard, Fizz. I tell you, 95 to 98 miles an hour, that hitters don't have long. You can miss out over the middle of the strike zone with that velocity. Stay with it, and then once you feel like they're getting on it, then that's when you mix in the secondary pitches.
Goes right after him, lifts it into shallow center, and it will drop in front of Lorenzo Cain.
Now Duffy beat it. He beat him. Just a jam shot.
Parents, make sure to bring the kids out to the K for Kids Fest, presented by Subway on Sunday, July 10th, when the Mariners are in town. Enjoy numerous pregame activities and entertainment, including a juggler. They've got balloon artists, crazy hair artists, and much more. Plus, the first 5,000 kids 14 and under will receive an exclusive Slugger Big Head, also courtesy of Subway. Now you can purchase your tickets today at Royals.com or by calling 1-800-6-ROYALS.
Did you say somebody had a big head?
Well, someone will be there with a big head, and they also will have a crazy hair artist.
Oh, I know what they mean now.
Foul back.
You would think Moss had a big head after hitting those home runs in that wild card performance. What a job, man. You know, you brought it up earlier in the game. You ask Moss about the Royals and playing here, he'll just go, oh man, this team gives you headaches.
Late bloomer out of Monroe, Georgia, 32 years of age. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Was able to stay with that fastball in his last time up. He struck him out. Might just stay up in the zone with that hard running fastball.
Alex tracking it towards the line and makes the catch. And tagging is Molina. He goes to second and barely makes it, but he does.
How about Yadier Molina? The play's in front of him. He read the ball as Moss sliced it towards the left field corner. Alex running hard that way. He went back and said, I can make it. He tagged up, and Alex didn't expect him to go. Took a little extra, too many steps. And Yadi took advantage of it. Got into scoring position. Look at that. That's good instinctive base running is what that is. Don't have to have speed, but if you have any kind of instincts on the bases, you could be successful.
What if he gets thrown out trailing by 4?
Well, it's a gamble. And he knew 100% in his mind he could make it.
Takes the opportunity for a double play away, and Jerko hit into an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play last time up.
Managers want base runners to be aggressive, and if you're going to make some aggressive mistakes, that's better than being passive.
Cain, Yadi not tagging this time.
No.
Our University of Kansas hospital injury report on Steven Strasburg. He was placed on the 15-day disabled list yesterday because of an upper back strain. Remember, this is a guy who has been on the disabled list now 6 times, having a fantastic year, and signed a long-term deal with the Nationals less than a month ago.
Well, you know, 6th DL stint of his career, it's a lot, but still, this guy's a workhorse. Throws hard. Lots of times Gonna break down.
You know, Hud, at this time in his last start, Danny Duffy had thrown 103 pitches and was lifted from the game. He's only thrown 55 through 4 2/3. What's the difference?
Difference is he's staying down in the zone. He's not up with his fastball so much to where they're fouling those pitches off. He's making them put it in play. That's the whole problem with Duffy and his pitch count. Whenever he's up in the zone, a majority of the time, hitters are looking for that pitch, but they're missing.
I remember well his last start against St. Louis. It came June 2nd, 2014, in a 6-0 win. He was electric. Allowed 1 hit in 6 innings and mainly throwing fastballs. I'll bet you it was 80% fastballs, both sides of the plate. And down. Stays 1-2.
He's got a golden arm, there's no doubt about it. So does the young starter pitching tomorrow for the Royals, Giordano Ventura. Very similar. Duffy left-handed, of course. Ventura right. 2 cornerstones for the future of that rotation.
Ooh. Jordan not giving it to Danny this inning.
Yep, you heard him. That ball was in. Credit Pham for not swinging at it.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out.
Five punch outs for Duffy. And wham, bam, Pham, you got to go.
Bottom 5 at the K. Royals leading 6-2. Perez, Morales, and Orlando. Adam Wainwright already at 87 pitches. This might be his final inning. His high this year has been 108. He hasn't had a game this rough since May 12th when he gave up 7.
Gonna happen, especially when you face an offense like the Royals that are a lot different than other offenses. Most teams like to swing for the fences and rely on power for their game. It's like the Astros, and you saw what they did to pitches out over the middle, and they hit to their strength. But the Royals, their frenzy style attack, just putting the ball in play. certainly can mess with a defense.
Almost 70 pitches by Wainwright in the first 2 innings. The Royals with some good takes tonight, awfully close pitches.
Woo. Hey, look, it's going both ways now. Both sides. That's all you want. No, he didn't.
They say he went, and that is a strikeout. Let's go to Joel.
Well, guys, Brian Pena, the former Royal, signed with the Cardinals in the offseason, might get activated as early as tomorrow. And he was telling me about being at school as a young kid, 11, 12 years old, at baseball practice, when this big guy walks in with his stepdad and his mom. It was a big kid around 12 years old. That kid was Kendrys Morales. He said he could hit from both sides of the plate back then. He also could pitch hard fastball, great curveball. They both made the Cuban national team, and then Brian ended up defecting, and it was Kendrys who went on to be a very good pitcher along with a hitter, and years later he says they're still very good friends.
Yeah, and I remember when Kendrys was the youngest cleanup hitter for the Cuban national team. At the age of 18, he was hitting 4th.
He could rake. Good story, Joel. Good to see Brian Pena back.
We had Cookie Rojas in the booth the other day, who left Cuba in 1954 or 55, that Cookie was telling us, and he said, and of course then Castro took over and things became much more difficult for us to leave. But he talked about the challenge of a guy like Kendrys Morales, because if you're from the Dominican Republic and you play in the major leagues, you get to go home. If you're like Kendrys Morales, you can't go back to Cuba.
I'm glad that's changing. It's their national sport, and the weather is the best baseball weather in the world. So they thrive. They're great baseball players there. They've been playing since they've been kids. Soccer's a sport, but it's not anywhere near baseball.
Into left field and deep. Back goes Holiday over his head, and Kendrys Morales is 3 for 3.
Double. He'll take it. Now on contact, Holiday froze. He didn't do anything. And by the time he picked up the ball, it was too late. A month ago, they make that play on Morales. And that's just how bad he was going. He didn't have any good luck. Now, on contact, you see how Carpenter moved late. Now Morales 7 for his last 11 in the previous 3 games.
Paulo Orlando, the batter, and he swings and skies it in the air. Center field, Tommy Pham.
Uh-oh.
That was
the airmail
a rocket launcher.
Yeah, almost went in the dugout.
Incoming. Time for our sprint trivia question. As Escobar walks to the plate, name the 3 players to hit at least 100 home runs combined with the Royals and the Cardinals. I'll give you a little while to think about that.
How about Darryl Porter?
I write it down and you say it. That's not fair.
No. I was already thinking it before you wrote it down, and I'm taking credit for that one. All right, if that's a winner, that's mine.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's right. outfield playing pretty shallow on Escobar. They know he's not much of a home run threat or a power threat, so they want to be able to cut Morales down.
Hit sharply to the right side, but fielded by Carpenter, who throws out Escobar, and that will do it. But may be done for Adam Wainwright, who's over 100 pitches tonight. So far, so good. Royals 6-2 over the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 1 of the 4-game I-70 series. And Danny Duffy, after giving up 2 in the first, has been extremely sharp ever since, and his pitch total only 60 through 5. Kennedy was fantastic yesterday afternoon in a 6-1 victory, and Duffy's trying to match him tonight. He struck out 5. 2 left-handers in the lineup for St. Louis. One is Carpenter, the other is Moth, and together they are 0 for 4.
Yeah, and you know, it's Moss that's in left field. I was calling him Matt Holliday after that ball that went over his head by Morales. Sorry, Matt Holliday. You're the DH tonight. Brandon Moss is in left.
Two 2-1 to Carpenter, and it's a strike. 2-2.
You know, Danny Duffy, he's starting to figure it out. Beginning of the year, you know, we knew he was more comfortable in the bullpen, and he even said that, you know, he liked coming in and emptying the tank and throwing 98, 99 miles an hour. But with that, he learned how to be more efficient with his pitches. Coming into the zone, you can't be a reliever with runners on when you come into a game and walk people. So he learned that. Look at that. Oh, that
beautifully located fastball at 96 miles an hour.
And Carpenter, he's a guy with a great eye, and he is having a hard time believing that from Jordan Baker, that call, and I don't blame him.
Good job by Salvador Perez selling it.
Yeah. It's off the plate, and Carpenter's saying, come on, man, give me a chance. It's hard enough to hit this guy. If lefties are only hitting 190. Off of Danny Duffy.
Danny told me he takes from everybody. He said Jason Vargas had a great line for him. He said, make a good pitch and have faith in your defense. The key to winning is your infield and outfield gloves.
He's right. You don't catch the ball, you don't win. You make all the routine plays and then a couple of brilliant plays to go along with that. You save pitch counts, you save errors, you save so much. Cardinals having issues in that area this year. We talked about that, and it's because they've had a lot of guys moving around. A lot of different players out there, a lot of injuries.
And didn't Crash Davis say that strikeouts are fascist, that ground balls, double plays are more democratic, where you use everyone?
I think that's correct.
That's down the right field line, and that is a fair ball. Diaz to second base. Post play, safe.
Yeah, Diaz, this kid can run too. Not only can he hit, and he loves the fastball, but he can flat out get it done. Good speed. He stays healthy. He's going to put up some great numbers this year and could be a rookie of the year for sure. Look at it. Says, I'm going to challenge that arm. Paulo with a solid, strong throw, but just off the mark. If he's got to make a perfect throw to get him. And that's what guys with speed do. They challenge it. Make that perfect throw on me.
Now Duffy's got to make a quality pitch to Matt Holliday. He came up with a fastball, and Holliday rode it out to center field for a 2-run home run back in the first. But then Duffy made a good pitch to get him to fly out to right in the fourth. He has 6 home runs in his last 13 games, so he has really picked up the pace.
Thanks to your great phonetic spelling, that's Aledmus Diaz. That's how you say that first name. Thank you, Fizz. Before each game,
glad I could help.
There's lots of guys on the roster, you know, and some of these names I have a hard time with. And Fizz, the pro that he is, and Rhino, they always sit down with me and say, all right, this is how we're saying this guy's name.
Get the let out Diaz.
That's right.
And he is quite a story, Hud. Comes from a very academic background. He majored in sports management, sports medicine, equivalent to a 3-year degree. His dad sent him to South Africa to learn more about farming and agriculture.
Nice.
He goes, and Danny's got a pickoff.
Now there's a rookie mistake there. Down by 4. Sure, he had him. You know, he had a good lead, and he knew 100% he could make it, but he forgot about Duffy's spin move, inward move there, and that's what got it. Perfect timing by Duffy. He would have had the base easily with no throw from Salvi. Thank you.
Holliday to deep right field.
And
off the wall, so that pickoff mighty important after Holliday bangs a double off the wall.
Yep, rookie mistake cost him. Fastball, Holliday drove it, hit it right where he wanted to hit it too. That ball was up and away, didn't try to pull it. He stayed right with it, and with his strength, just played ping pong off of that opposite field fence here at the K. Matheny, he understands mental and physical mistakes, the differences between the two, and maybe won't address that till tomorrow.
Now Piscotty, ground ball short. Escobar has it. Duffy comes back well after the back-to-back doubles by Diaz and Holliday, but his pickoff shuts out the Cards in the 6th. 6-2, and the sixth is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Madison Lovsky from Lenexa. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Madison, you get $800. But if the Royals hit a grand slam, Madison will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Well, here is Chesler Cuthbert. He is 0 for 2 with a pop-up to right and a flyout to right.
Cuthbert, the first time up tonight, facing Wainwright. Watch this carefully. Hard enough to focus on the baseball, but when you have a kingbird distracting your vision, that makes it really difficult. Fizz and Kurt Nelson, our tremendous historian here for the Royals, calls it the King of Kauffman. It's a kingbird.
To the shortstop. Diaz throws out Cuthbert for out number 1. The new pitcher, by the way, is Seth Maness, a 6-foot right-hander from Pinehurst, North Carolina. So Wainwright out, giving up 6 runs in 5 innings. This is our Chevy call to the bullpen. Rather high ERA this year in only 14 games.
That's right. Maness 90 to 95 with his fastball, curve, and a changeup.
He does have a bit of an odd delivery, almost like a catcher.
Yeah, but when he gets that little whip around action, that ball moves. It has some good sink to it. And that little, it's like he kind of wraps that arm a little bit.
Whit Merrifield pops up to the first baseman. The crew from Fox Sports Kansas City was at Kauffman Stadium tonight talking with fans about streaming Royals games on Fox Sports Go. If you're a customer of a participating pay TV provider, you can stream our Royals telecast. Watch on your phone or tablet with the Fox Sports Go app. Download the app for free or visit foxsportsgo.com for more information. Gordon grounds out. Royals 3 up, 3 down. To the 7th we go. KC 6, St. Louis 2.
Royals up 6-2. We are used to this field and Kauffman Stadium being perhaps the most beautiful in baseball. So a little unusual to see the worn out grass in center field. People wondering why. Here's the reason. Diamond of Dreams on Thursday night, the Royals Charity's largest fundraiser of the year. $350,000 raised for Royals Charity's military partners, including Folds of Honor, families at military posts and bases in Kansas and Missouri, the USO, and Restart Supportive Services for veterans' families. So small price to pay for a great cause and raising all of that money, and you can very well believe that when the Royals come back to face Seattle before the All-Star break, Trevor Vance and company will have that thing looking brand new.
Thanks, Joel. Believe it. Trevor Vance and his crew will put him up against anyone in the country. They are solid, and it's well worth a little yellow stain. Really? Every yard in my neighborhood's got a little yellow in it. Why not the K? Especially for that money we raised. Beautiful job. Thank you, fans.
The Glass family so supportive of our community. Dan and Penny Glass were both there. Enjoyed that night. Great night to be here in Kansas City, supporting some great causes. Here is Johnny Peralta, and he takes it down low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Duffy has struck out 6, has not walked 1, so he has bounced back quite well. High fly ball left side, Alex Gordon. 1 out. Here's our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Salvador Perez has the most votes of any American leaguer, but Ortiz is chasing him. And Eric Hosmer also with the lead, but fans, you need to get out and vote, and also vote for Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, now the other candidates, they're all worthy. They've had great first halves, and that's really what you go on for the All-Star. But look, we know we love your Royals fans. You love them. But let's go ahead and put a little push. Get Lorenzo Cain there. He wants to go to San Diego.
Lorenzo 2 for 3 tonight.
Got a man there.
Danny Duffy, pitch efficiency has been outstanding.
Yeah, so you know you have the plan of attack to get him early and get that fastball early, and you hope they land for hits. If they don't, you're in trouble. The starting pitcher gets an out and he stays in longer.
Dave Island, who's the pitching coach, loves it. And he has talked many times. Fans don't realize how difficult it is to bring a guy out of the bullpen during the season and build his arm strength up. And that's why they were so cautious with Danny in the month of May.
Yeah, and you know what though, Duffy, though, because they've done that with him in years past, moved him in and out, he has a little idea about that. He's got a great focus on both positions. Now, he wanted to show Moss that breaking ball, but all night long he's been blowing that heater by Moss.
Struck him out, got him to fly out.
Look at that efficiency from Danny Duffy. Fantastic.
Only 1 inning over 13 pitches.
Fizz, he's going to throw a no-hitter one of these days. You watch. Now, I don't know when it's going to happen, but he's figuring it out. He has no-hit stuff.
Well, we remember in 2014 on May 17th where he retired the first 20 Orioles in a 1-0 win, and Adam Jones broke up his perfect game with 2 out in the 7th.
I mean, you know, you don't throw many of those in your career, but I think he's got one in him at some particular point, especially if they leave him alone and let that fastball hunt.
Just barely off the plate. How do you not swing at that?
That's a good teaser. There you go up with that heater here.
Foul back. Did exactly what you thought he would do.
A little bit higher, he gets a swing and miss. So easy to talk about, Fizz. You know how hard it is to perform that and to execute what you're trying to do out there. These guys are amazing.
And then he does a quick pitch. just misses with the fastball away. Staying with the hard stuff. Moss came into this game very hot in the month of June, hitting .350 with 7 home runs. 7 of his 16 in this month, and we're not done with June yet.
He throws him that little breaking ball here, he could just corkscrew him in the ground. He's got him set up for the fastball. I mean, he's got him set up for the breaking ball, but he's been throwing heater after heater. See what he comes with.
Fastball down, swing and a miss. Duffy outstanding through 7. The Royals head to the bottom of the 7th inning at Kauffman Stadium, leading 6-2.
Oh, Duff is tough.
Royals with a 6-2 lead. All 8 runs scored in this game in the first 2 innings as the Cardinals jumped in front 2-0. Royals came back with 2 in the bottom half of the first and 4 in the second. The Royals with 15 come from behind wins this year. If they hold on here, this would be number 16 as Kane leads off and Seth Maness for his 2nd inning of work. Seth, the guy who had a great 2014 with a 2.91 ERA in 73 games, but his ERA near 5 the last 2 seasons. Ground ball back at the middle. Maness first, and there's 1 out. Frenzy hitting tonight has been the story for Kansas City, particularly with 2 out.
Better believe that. You hang it, they'll bang it, and not necessarily over the wall either. But you're going to put it in play. That Merrifield hit and run was beautiful. Haas, Salvi, Morales staying hot.
Hosmer's been on twice with a walk, a double, scored 2 and driven in 2. And our Toyota League leaders about teams with 10 or more hit games. The Royals now with 36. They have 9 hits tonight. Maness jumping ahead of Hosmer 0-2. Eric now with a 5-game hit streak. And he swings and misses and strikes out. Cruz has been on twice, reaching on an error, also singling in. Hosmer back in the second inning. Now has 37 RBIs.
You talk about the Royals offense, Fizz, and they're coming into tonight, they're hitting 277. That's second best in the American League behind the Red Sox.
To third. 3 up, 3 down for KC. We head to the 8th inning. Royals by 4. Cardinals here in the top of the 8th inning. Here is our Panera Around the League scoreboard. New York over Texas. Cleveland, boy, they are red hot, going for their 10th straight win, leading Atlanta 8-2. Tampa Bay over Boston, and Washington clubbing New York. And Syndergaard gave up 5 runs. Remember, he had to exit the Royals game in New York with a little elbow soreness. Slow down the Tribe. Holy smokes. If they win, they'll be 45-30. Orlando makes the catch. And now it's time for our Tuminia Mazda game break.
Fly ball and deep.
This is Cleveland, and Chisenhall going deep.
Chisenhall has just hit a 3-run homer.
3-run homer. I'll tell you what, Cleveland, they are in a tree right now for sure.
Now they're playing the lowly Atlanta Braves, who are, what is it, 23 games, I believe, under 500. 17.5 games back of the Washington Nationals, and we're still in June. We're 17.5 back. Tommy Pham 0 for 2, twice striking out against Danny Duffy. One ball, 2 strikes. Duffy getting back. His first 5 starts this year, he walked only 2 batters and struck out 28. His last 3, 9 walks, 22 strikeouts. Tonight, back to square one, and no walks, 7 strikeouts. He's at 92 pitches in the 8th.
Another thing too is not just the poise that he's showing as we're watching Hochevar warm up. His poise is tremendous. That means he's got good body language. But it's his tempo. He's getting that ball and going right after the opponents. Now he's driving down. Using a little downhill angle with that fastball, filling up the lower part of the strike zone.
He struck him out.
Duff. Talked about Duff being tough tonight. He sure is, and he's using all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. Hitters aren't sure where he's going to put it. They know the velocity, they know the stuff, but that's a high strike there. He's been using the lower part. He's getting guys away. 8 punch outs on the night.
And when you've got to be ready for that 96, 97 mile an hour fastball, it's so difficult to be ready for that slider or the change. Carpenter 0 for 3. Struck out looking last time up. One ball, one strike. Boy, you love it when your starters can rest a bullpen. Royals yesterday were down 4 relievers because of the workload on Friday and Saturday against Houston.
I mean, Carpenter is one of the best hitters in the National League, and he's hit 280 with 3 homers off of lefties, so he handles lefties pretty well. But tonight he's had some issues with Danny Duffy. Popped up his first time, grounded out and struck out.
Make sure to come out to the K for the next T-shirt Tuesday giveaway, courtesy of Hy-Vee tomorrow. The first 10,000 fans through the gate will receive a navy blue T-shirt featuring the famous "Let's Go Royals" chant. Get your tickets today at Royals.com. And Dina Blevins came up today to give us the T-shirt. Thank you, Dina. Carpenter pops it up, foul territory. That's going to fall just beyond Paulo Orlando's hustle.
Good effort, Paulo. Long run.
And this is what they're going to give away on T-shirt Tuesday. HUD's holding it up. Let's go Royals. We're going to get that chant going today.
Yeah, look, they'll get her going here usually towards the end when they smell that finish line.
Duffy's next pitch will be number 100. This likely will be his final frame. Trying to get Carpenter out, who is down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's the pitch that he struck out Brandon Moss to end the 7th inning, that low fastball.
And he got Carpenter on it too. Now Carpenter, again, talked about his hitting ability, hitting 300 on the nose coming into tonight. 50 walks. That guy, he's got a good idea about the strike zone.
Hosmer has it. What a job by Danny Duffy. He'll get a standing ovation tonight.
Earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Kendrys Morales. What a breath of fresh air for Ned Yost in that lineup. How about 7 for 11 in his last 3 games? 5 steaks. When you get him heating up, that means Haas is going to get some more pitches to hit. Yeah, it helps the whole entire lineup.
And since the Royals rested Kendrys Morales, who had a swollen finger for 4 games on May 29th, he's hitting .345 since that date. 4 games prior to May 29th, they sat down, just let it settle, calm down the area. Here is Trevor Rosenthal, who's no longer their closer. He's in a setup role now, and Morales, how about this? A perfect 4 for 4. 3 singles, a double. Stay hot.
There's the Royals' 10th hit. They did it again.
37 times this year they've had 10 or more hits in a game.
Way to go, K-Mo. Yeah, look at that. He's done a little soft step, let the ball get deep towards the catcher's glove. Put on a nice little easy swing and found a hole. That'll get those teams that shift him like that thinking. And once he keeps going the other way, they're going to have to pull him back over there and go a little bit more traditional straight up lineup or defensive line. Ooh, man, he's in on his hands.
This could be the last chance for Orlando to continue his hit streak. He's right now at 10 games. 19 for his last 43, but 0 for 3 tonight.
He's facing a guy that's got a really good fastball. He's got a runner, a little 2-seam runner. He cuts it at 95 to 98 and a changeup. And he's been lifted from the closer's role because he hasn't been getting the job done. It's that simple with almost a 6 ERA. He's been finding way too much in the middle of the plate. Doesn't have confidence. Not enough to be sent out or sent down, but he's going to just get a different role in that bullpen, and then he'll pitch his way back to form, they hope.
He's a Lee Summit West Titan. Cardinals 21st round pick out of Cowley County Junior College. You can vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. Although Orlando's certainly a candidate with a fantastic month of June he has had. His batting average right now at .353. And if he had the number of at bats to be eligible, he would be leading the American League in hitting.
Now, we love talking about that, but for Paulo, he's just keeping an even keel, even focus. Playing every day, you know your name's going to be in that lineup. He just wants to keep that thought on what he can do to help the team defensively and with the bat in his hand.
He now has 173 at bats and 61 hits.
So in other words, he's not going around the clubhouse saying, I wish I had enough at bats I could be leading the league in hitting. No, they don't do that.
You know what tells you all you need to know about Paulo Orlando? He's now 30 years old. He was in his first big league season. Royals didn't ask him. He decided to play winter ball to get another like 100 at bats.
Smart. He knows that his time is limited here.
Oh, nice play by the third baseman to get the force at second base. So Peralta with a heck of a play.
Oh, that was nice. Showing some soft hands there. He's a shortstop by trade, but they moved him over there because Diaz has done such a fabulous job in his first year with the Cardinals. But watch him at third. Watch his hands. He's able to watch this all the way, and somehow he caught it. And I don't know how he saw it. That was slick. Rob Paulo of another hit. They get Peralta going with his bat and he starts hitting some home runs, they've got enough position players out there and enough power in their lineup. They're 9 back coming into today's game against the Cubs. Hey, they're in it. The Cubs got a great starting staff, no doubt about it. But you know, the Cardinals, they have a chance.
They're in that same division as the sizzling Chicago Cubs. Cubs, though, have lost 2 in a row and 6 of their last 10, but they still have a 9-game lead on St. Louis. To the right side. Orlando around second, roaring to third. No chance to get him with his speed. And now it's time for a 2-Mini Mazda game break. Yordan Ventura so sharp his last 2 starts, coming off that 8-game suspension.
Okay, so here we go. Go, yo. Keep it up. Guy's been well taken care of. Coddled by his manager and Dave Island. Good, solid mentoring for this young man. Keeping him and his tools.
Royals hope to keep that starting pitching line moving with Kennedy yesterday, Duffy tonight, Yordan Ventura tomorrow, and here is Chesler Cuthbert.
Keep that line moving on into the road and start changing those road woes.
Good crack by Cuthbert there, but fouled it back. 0-2. Right side, Stephen Piscotty makes the catch. Orlando is thinking about going, but does not. And there are 2 out. Time to answer our trivia question. Sprint trivia. Name the 3 players to hit at least 100 home runs combined with the Royals and Cardinals. And the answer is Carlos Beltran, Darryl Porter, and Gary Galletti. We got the first 2, but we missed Gary. Here's Whit Merrifield. He got a base hit in the 2nd inning, which means he continues his Royals record, getting a base hit in his first 18 home games. Only the 3rd player since 1913 to have a streak that long. Fouled off. Rocco Baldelli, we told you, hit in his first 20 major league starts in 2003 at home. Who holds his first 19 games at Busch Stadium in 2001. And then Whit Merrifield in 3rd place. Base hit in each of his first 18 home games.
To take that second base job and run with it like he has, with showing his great range, his ability to turn double plays, his heady play, smart play, that's one thing, and that's the main thing he's got to do for the Royals pitchers. But offensively, he's been an igniter, spark, a rallier.
He scored 22 runs. Runner goes, pitch is fouled off.
Working with his father, Whitley Merrifield, in the offseason, continuing to work that bottom hand, top hand release. been really exciting to see what he can do by staying in there. His father's name is Bill, and he's an excellent hitting coach for him. And staying inside the baseball when you're playing every day is going to increase your chances of getting on base and hitting for a higher average. He's not a one-dimensional type hitter.
Rosenthal strikes him out. We head to the ninth. Royals by 4. Brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Ian Kennedy talking with Danny Duffy, who had one of his best starts of the year. I mean, 8 innings. 8 strikeouts, no walks.
How about the baton we talked about, Fizz? That competitive baton being passed from one starter to the next. We saw Kennedy right there just talking to Duffy. It went from Kennedy to Duffy, now on to Ventura tomorrow.
Right now, Soria trying to close it out. Diaz, Holiday, Piscotty. Fouled off.
Soria will use all of his pitches. Got 4 of them. Gonna mix them all in. That big slow curve ball is a good one of his. He likes to keep them off balance with that one. Fastball anywhere from 90, 88 to 93, 94. Slider and a changeup.
Oh man. Ooh. That foul ball came up right back into his face.
You know it's a bad pitch when you do that.
Yeah, he was reaching over the plate, came right back up on his forehead. Mike Matheny, skipper there.
Cardinals don't need anything like this, especially that young man here. Watch this if you can. Oh, it looked like it got a little bit of the helmet though. Hopefully before it got him in the eye. Let's see again. Ooh, I don't know. That is so dangerous. Anytime your ball hits you around the eye, you never know.
Mike Matheny does have a couple of guys who can play that infield spot. If Diaz is unable to continue, Garcia and Colton Wong, who is also an outfielder. did not see a cut there. And usually that forehead area, the skin is so thin that it is easily opened up. I'll be pointing to Alcides Escobar where the ball hit him.
You can see right above his eye. You can see that little mouse there. That's what they call that, and he's going to take it to the shower. Hope he's all right.
So Greg Garcia will come to the plate, down in the count 0-2. He has never faced Soria, and the first time he meets him, he is down 0-2. And Soria has been tremendous against the Cardinals in his history with a 1.59 ERA. Grounder to short. Escobar has it. Garcia is out number 1. A reminder, Boulevard Royals Live will be coming up after the ball game with Joel and Monty. The Royals trying to take game 1 of this 4-game series, 2 in Kansas City and then 2 in St. Louis. Tomorrow night, Ventura against Waka. And then when we head to Busch Stadium, Volquez against Carlos Martinez. Holiday with a mighty swing and a miss. He's homered and doubled tonight. Drove in the only 2 runs St. Louis scored way back in the first, and a 2-run home run off Duffy, and Duffy said no more after that and shut out St. Louis the next 7. What a play by Cuthbert. My goodness.
Hats off. That's right. Tremendous lateral movement we've witnessed in a reaction position from this young man, Cuthbert. Got to keep the ball away from him or Haas. Those guys in the corners there are extremely good. Nice reaction. Getting a standing O from the crowd now as there's 2 outs. And they're loving what they witnessed tonight.
Really getting blasted on Friday and Saturday, outscored 26-9 by the Houston Astros. Great starting pitching by Kennedy and Duffy. Royals won last night 6-1 over Houston, and they lead today 6-2. Monday night. Slow roller just past Soria. Witt will take care of it. Royals take game 1 of the I-70 series. Morales with a 4-for-4 game. Danny Duffy, 8 fantastic innings.
That's right, and we're looking for a driver. That's right, for sure we are. Our Ram driver of the game is Danny Duffy. Doesn't always have to be an offensive player who drives. He drove a stake right through the heart of the Redbirds tonight. Outstanding job. Didn't walk a single batter. Only gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, 8 punch-outs in 101 pitches. Look at that. Pickoff to his credit as well. Duff was tough on the Redbirds tonight. Go ahead and drive, Danny. Keep it up, young man.
Danny picks up his 3rd win of the year. Longest start by a Royal since August of last year. Johnny Cueto.
He stood up. He took the baton from Kennedy, who went 7 yesterday and 8 today. What's Ventura going to do tomorrow? Maybe he goes CG at 9. That's how he'll top it.
KC hangs the W. The Royals win their 40th game of the year. They're 40-35. They stay within 5 games of Cleveland, who also won tonight over the Atlanta Braves. Let's go to Joel.
All right, thank you very much. Joined right now by tonight's winning pitcher, Danny Duffy, going 8 innings for the 2nd time in your career. Just tell me about what was working for you tonight.
You know, I was just following Salvi, and you know, I always try to keep it as simple as possible. You know, my stuff's good enough to, in my mind, get anybody out. And, you know, team made some great plays behind me and was able to get.
It's not easy to fool guys nowadays, but those starting pitchers usually aren't out here. I guess that's the price to pay for going deep into the game. Welcome to your first Salvi splash.
Thank you, appreciate that.
All right, so back to your stuff, and it looked like the last few games, maybe not throwing the fastball as much as you were when you were really rolling. Was there a concerted effort to go back to it more tonight?
Yeah, you know, I've picked and choose my spots, and and my slider was really working for me today, and for the first time this whole year, my changeup really wasn't there for me, and threw a couple good ones, but you know, we were just able to hit spots and when we needed to, and you know, looking up and seeing, you know, a win, and then, you know, second to that is 0 walks. That's a win for me for sure.
We've been talking tonight about how we always mention hitting being contagious, but that could be the case for pitching too. So how much did Ian's performance yesterday drive you today?
Yeah, anytime you see somebody, you know, go out there and do his thing like Ian did, you know, you wanna get after it also immediately, and you know, keep the line moving like we always do. That's our credo, and you know, tomorrow we're gonna go out there and try to do the same thing.
Last thing, was it easy for you to settle down after that first inning? It was just the double and the home run, and then obviously some offense, but it looked like you settled right in.
Yeah, I was settled down the entire game. You know, I mean, I made a semi-good pitch to Holiday, and you know, he's such a strong, you know, human being that he just went out, you know, he kept his hands in and got it, and you know, Lorenzo almost caught it. I mean, and if he can't make that play, nobody can. So, you know, it's just one of those things. You got to tip your cap and move on to the next.
Great job tonight. Go celebrate with your teammates, and we'll see you back here 5 days, or at least on the road from now.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Joe.
Danny Duffy, what a performance by him. 2nd time that he has gone 8 innings in his career. Did it against the White Sox last year. Let's go back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel. Great job again. Danny Duffy, spectacular 8 innings of 2-run baseball, and the Royals take game 1 of this I-70 series by a final score of 6-2. Salvi with the Salvi splash. Fun at the old ballpark.
Ambushed him.